Welcome, dear friend, to a moment of tranquility amidst the hustle and bustle of the day. Before we embark on this sleep story together, let us first take a few moments to nurture our inner calm through gentle breathing exercises. Make yourself comfortable, whether you choose to be seated or lying down. If you are sitting, find a position that supports your spine to be straight yet relaxed, allowing your body to settle into a comfortable posture. Rest your hands gently on your thighs or knees, palms facing up or down, whichever feels most natural to you. If you're lying down, allow your body to sink into the surface beneath you, adjusting your position until you feel fully supported. Softly close your eyes if it feels comfortable, or keep them open with a soft, unfocused gaze. Take a moment to tune into your breath, feeling the natural rhythm of inhalation and exhalation. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your chest or stomach with each breath, allowing yourself to relax into the sensation. Take a deep breath in, allowing the air to fill your lungs completely. And exhale slowly, releasing any tension or stress that may have gathered within you. Feel the weight of the world begin to lift from your shoulders as you sink into a state of relaxation. Breathe in deeply once more, feeling the cool air fill your lungs, and hold it for a moment before exhaling slowly, allowing all worries and distractions to melt away with each breath. Let your breath become a soothing rhythm, a gentle cadence that guides you into a state of peace and tranquility. As you settle into this quiet space, know that you are taking an important step towards caring for yourself and preparing for the journey ahead. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there stood a tall, lonely tower. This tower wasn't just any tower. It was hidden deep within the heart of the woods, surrounded by a tangle of thorns and vines. At the very top of this tower lived a young girl named Rapunzel. Rapunzel was no ordinary girl. She possessed hair that shimmered like spun gold, and eyes as blue as the sky itself. But alas, Rapunzel was not free to roam the forests or feel the earth beneath her feet. She was imprisoned within the tower by a wicked enchantress who wielded her hair as a means to ascend and descend. The enchantress, with her dark eyes and mysterious smile, had stolen Rapunzel from her family as a babe, whisking her away from her home in the depths of the forest. Seeing the child's beauty and sensing the magic that she possessed, the enchantress had spirited her away to the tower, weaving spells of protection around its walls to keep Rapunzel hidden from the world. And so, Rapunzel grew up in isolation. Her only connection to the outside world existed through the enchantress's visits, during which she would bring supplies and teach her the ways of magic and nature. Rapunzel often found solace in song, her angelic voice weaving through the air, carrying her hopes and dreams to the heavens above. Yet, as Rapunzel blossomed into a young woman, she couldn't help but feel a longing for freedom, a yearning to explore the world beyond the tower's walls and discover her true identity. Little did she know, fate had plans in store for her that would change her life forever. One stormy night, as the rain began to pour and the clouds obscured the moon and stars, a young prince named Alexander rode through the forest. His cloak billowed around him, soaked through by the downpour, as he pressed forward on his quest. He was determined to discover the source of the mysterious melody that had been filling his dreams. Through the thin mist of rain, he stumbled upon the tower, hidden among the trees, like a jewel in the forest's crown. Its stone walls were slick with moisture, glistening in the dim light cast by the flickering torches that lined its base. Enchanted by its beauty, Prince Alexander approached cautiously. Just as he pondered who could possibly dwell within such a secluded place, a figure emerged from the depths of the forest, hobbling towards the tower with a sinister grace. It was the evil enchantress, her body bent and frail with age, yet her eyes gleaming with a malevolent light. As she neared the bottom of the tower, a wicked smile played upon her lips. Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair to me, she cried to the skies above. And with that call, Rapunzel tossed her long golden braid from the window above. The enchantress reached up, wrapping her spindly fingers tightly around the braid, and with a quick tug, she let Rapunzel know she was ready to be lifted up to the window. Prince Alexander gasped in awe at the sight before his eyes. Never had he seen hair so golden and long, nor a person as beautiful as Rapunzel. He made a silent vow to return each day, to gaze upon Rapunzel's beauty from afar, and to seek a way to gain her friendship. And so, as the days passed and the sun rose and set, Prince Alexander found himself drawn back to the tower, like a moth to a flame, his heart yearning for the sight of Rapunzel's radiant presence. Then, one fateful day, as he stood hidden among the shadows, he watched as the enchantress departed from the tower, her dark silhouette disappearing into the depths of the forest. Seizing the opportunity, Prince Alexander called out to the tower, his voice ringing clear and strong. "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair to me." Rapunzel, who had been lost in thought by her window, heard the distant cry of an unfamiliar voice, and sprang to attention, leaning out of the window. Her hair, a cascade of silken sunlight, fell like a shimmering waterfall behind her. The wind whipped around her, tugging at her garments and tussling her hair, but she paid it no mind as she strained to catch a glimpse of the source of the sound. It was then that she saw him, Prince Alexander, his eyes wide with surprise as they locked onto hers. For a moment, time seemed to stand still as they stared at each other. "Who goes there?" called out Rapunzel from her window, her voice carrying on the wind. "I am Prince Alexander," he replied, as his heart skipped a beat at the sight of her. "Who are you, and why are you trapped in this tower?" he asked. Rapunzel began to unravel the story of her captivity to Prince Alexander. She spoke of the enchantress, whose dark magic had ensnared her in the tower's confines since she was but a babe. As she spoke, Prince Alexander listened intently, his heart heavy with sympathy for the girl who stood before him. Determined to set her free, Prince Alexander vowed to find a way to break the enchantress's spell and reunite Rapunzel with her family. Together, they devised a plan. Using his strength, he would climb the tower, and together they would use Rapunzel's hair to fashion a rope so they could both climb down. As Prince Alexander and Rapunzel descended from the tower, Rapunzel's heart swelled with joy, her spirits lifted by the palpable sense of freedom that surrounded her. However, as they reached the floor, they were confronted by the enraged enchantress, her eyes ablaze with fury and malice. With a wicked cackle, the enchantress raised her hands, weaving dark incantations that crackled with power. She sought to cast a curse upon them, to shatter their newfound happiness, and bind them once more to her will. But as the curse left her lips, a strange and wondrous thing occurred. It rebounded upon her with a force beyond her reckoning, sending a surge of magic that snipped Rapunzel's golden locks with a single swift stroke, and sent the enchantress reeling backwards with a cry of anguish. In an instant, the enchantress lay still upon the ground, next to a heaped pile of hair, her dark power extinguished by the very curse she had unleashed. Rapunzel was free. With the enchantress vanquished, Prince Alexander took Rapunzel's hand in his own as they set out together into the world beyond the tower's confines, determined to reunite Rapunzel with her long-lost family. He led her forth with a heart full of hope. And so, Rapunzel's life unfolded like a flower in bloom, each day a new opportunity to embrace the joys of freedom and discovery. With Prince Alexander by her side, she forged friendships, found love, and reveled in the simple pleasures of life that had once been denied to her. But most of all, she was free, free to roam the forests, to feel the earth beneath her feet, and to dance beneath the open sky. And as she looked back upon the tower that had been her prison for so long, she knew that her journey had only just begun, a path paved with endless possibilities, and the promise of a future filled with happiness and love.